Ever been juggling windows on just your laptop screen? Trying to get work done when you're not at your desk?
Oh, all the time.
Or maybe you're traveling and wish you had a bigger screen for, I don't know, gaming or watching something.
Yeah, that tiny phone screen doesn't always cut it.
Exactly. Well, if that sounds like you, this deep dive should be interesting. Today, we're looking closely at a review of the Cocopar 15.6-inch USB-C portable monitor.
Right.
And our mission here isn't just to read out what the review said, but to really figure out if this thing actually delivers on that promise of, flexibility and convenience. Does it give you that extra screen real estate when you need it? So we'll cover the design, how you hook it up, what the picture looks like, and yeah, if it's any good for relaxing too.
Okay, let's get into it. What jumped out first from the review was the look and feel.
Yeah.
They talk about a zero-frame design. Makes it sound pretty sleek, modern, almost like a premium tablet.
Okay, so not just a clunky piece of tech.
Seems not. It sounds like it's got a bit of style. And those thin bezels they mention, that helps maximize the actual screen space on that 15.6-inch display.
Which means, for you listening, a more immersive view, right? Less wasted space.
Precisely. And speaking of space, portability is obviously key here.
How portable are we talking?
Well, the review pegs it around 1.7 pounds, so under 800 grams. And pretty slim.
That's quite light. Easy to carry then.
Sounds like it. The reviewer basically said you could just throw it into a backpack without giving it a second thought, which, is great if you hate lugging heavy stuff.
It definitely resonates. But I saw a note about the cover, the smart cover.
Ah, yes. So it comes with this cover that protects the screen and folds into a stand. Useful.
But there's always a but.
Well, the review did flag that the magnetic hold might be a little weak, and the stability, maybe not rock solid.
Meaning it could wobble.
Yeah, imagine using it on a shaky surface like an airplane tray table. The reviewer hinted it might not stay perfectly put.
Okay, so that's a potential trade-off. Protection versus perfect stability. Something for you to consider based on where you'd use it most.
Exactly. Is a little wobble a deal breaker for you?
Yeah.
Depends on your needs.
Right. Okay, let's switch gears to connectivity. How does this thing actually plug into your devices? The review called it versatile.
And it seems to be. You're looking at 2 USB-C ports, 1 mini HDMI, and even a 3.5mm headphone jack.
That's a pretty good spread of options.
It is. And those dual USB-C ports, the reviewer called them a game changer.
Why is that?
Well, think about it. If you have a newer laptop like a MacBook, a Surface, a recent iPad, even some Samsung phones,
Okay.
many of them support DisplayPort Alt mode over USB-C. That means for you, potentially just one single USB-C cable for both the video signal and power.
Okay. That simplifies things massively. No extra power brick, maybe?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Less cable mess, faster setup in a cafe or hotel. That's a big plus.
But it's not only USB-C, right? That mini HDMI is important too?
Absolutely crucial for broader compatibility. Think older laptops or gaming consoles.
Like PlayStation, Xbox, Switch.
Exactly. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series XS, even the Nintendo Switch via its dock. The review mentioned those specifically, so it really opens it up beyond just the latest tech.
So it's adaptable. You're not locked into one ecosystem.
Pretty much. That combination of ports makes it a more flexible tool for whatever devices you might have now or down the line.
Okay, makes sense. So it's portable, seems easy to connect, but the main event, the display itself, what are we looking at? It's 15.6 inches, 1080p, full HD IPS panel with HDR.
Right. Let's break that down. The IPS panel is good news for you.
How so?
IPS generally means better viewing angles. The colors won't shift drastically if you look at it from the side.
Yeah.
Handy if you're maybe showing something to a colleague or friend.
Okay, good point. And the colors themselves.
The review described them as vibrant and punchy, but critically, without feeling oversaturated. So it sounds like a nice balanced picture for general use, watching videos, that sort of thing.
And what about that HDR support? Is it like amazing movie watching HDR?
The review manages expectations there.
Yeah.
It's presented as a feature that adds a bit more richness and dynamic range, making movies and games look slightly better.
Slightly, yeah.
Yeah, don't expect, the deep blacks and stunning contrast of a high-end OLED TV. The reviewer explicitly says it's not really for serious professional color grading work.
So more of a nice to have for entertainment.
Exactly. Think of it as a bonus feature, not the main selling point for visual quality purists.
Fair enough. What about brightness? Can you use it near a window?
The review says brightness is decent for indoors. So
Yeah.
office, home, cafe, should be fine.
But maybe not outside on a sunny day.
Yeah, it notes it might struggle a bit in direct sunlight, so if you're planning a lot of outdoor use, that's definitely something for you to keep in mind.
Okay. So, specs aside, how does it actually feel to use day to day for productivity, let's say?
This seems to be where it really shines, according to the review. A genuine productivity booster as a second screen.
How so? Smooth experience.
Yeah, they mentioned no noticeable lag or ghosting, that blurring effect with fast movement.
Yeah.
Crucial when you're dragging windows around, working on spreadsheets, documents, emails.
Makes sense. Fast response is key.
And it apparently wakes up quickly, too, which adds to that seamless feel. No waiting around.
Nice. I saw a mention of physical buttons for switching inputs.
Yes, which is often easier than fiddling with touch controls. Though the review did admit the on-screen display menu, the OSD, could be a bit more intuitive.
A minor quibble, perhaps.
Seems like it. The main thing is that switching between, say, your laptop and a connected tablet seems straightforward. And the review really hammered home the benefit for remote workers or travelers.
Like setting up a mobile office.
Exactly. That single cable potential for things like coding, writing, design work. Imagine setting up your dual-screen workspace in a hotel room in like 30 seconds. That's appealing.
Definitely. Okay, what about when work is done? Gaming, movies. How does it hold up for fun?
Well, for console gaming on the go, the reviewers seem pretty happy. They tested it with a PS5 over HDMI.
To know.
Reported smooth gameplay, good visuals. They did note a slight input delay compared to like a super high-end gaming monitor.
Ah, noticeable.
Apparently barely noticeable for casual or story-driven games, so maybe not for ultra-competitive esports players who need every millisecond.
Right, they'd want 144 hertz or more anyway.
Precisely. But for most people just wanting to play their console games while traveling, it sounds perfectly fine. The 60 hertz refresh rate and response time were deemed sufficient.
And for just watching stuff, movies, YouTube.
Yeah, praise for that too. Natural colors, crisp detail from the 1080p resolution. Seems like a good portable media screen.
Okay, but you mentioned earlier the audio.
Ah, yeah. The built-in stereo speakers, the review used the word passable.
Uh-oh. Faint praise.
Pretty much.
Oh, wait.
Lacking bass, not super loud. They'll work in a pinch if you have nothing else.
But you want headphones.
Definitely. Or maybe a little Bluetooth speaker for a better audio experience, especially for movies or games, or if there's background noise, don't expect room-filling sound from the monitor itself. Got it. Manage expectations on the audio front. Lastly, let's circle back to power and just how easy it is to carry.
Right. The power efficiency seems like a real highlight. Being able to draw power directly over USB-C from compatible devices, that's huge for you.
Fewer cables again.
Yep. Less clutter, fewer things to forget. But the review clarifies if you use the HDMI port or if your USB-C device doesn't output enough power.
That you need a separate power source.
Correct. You'd plug a power adapter or power bank into the second USB-C port in those cases.
Okay, still pretty flexible though, and overall, portability is a win.
Seems to be its core strength, really. Lightweight, thin profile.
Yeah.
It genuinely sounds like something you can easily slip into a bag.
Making it convenient for working or gaming, pretty much anywhere. Cafes, hotels.
Exactly. Even maybe outdoors, keeping that brightness caveat in mind. It delivers on the portable promise.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. After digging into this review, what are the main takeaways for someone considering the Cocopar? Well, it looks like a really solid all-around portable monitor, especially consider the price point it usually sits at. You get a sleek, light design, really versatile connectivity with both USB-C and HDMI.
Yeah, that's key.
A vibrant, full HD screen that's good for work and decent for entertainment with that HDR bonus.
Yeah.
And it seems pretty easy to just plug in and use.
So, sounds great for boosting productivity on the move or for casual gaming and media.
I think so.
What about the downsides we need to keep in mind? The potential catches.
Okay, number one, the built-in speakers are weak. Plan on using headphones or external audio.
Right.
Number two, that smart cover stand, while useful for protection, might be a bit wobbly sometimes.
Especially on less stable surfaces.
Yep. And third, the screen brightness might not be sufficient if you plan to use it frequently in very bright direct sunlight.
Okay, good summary. So if you're listening and thinking about a portable monitor, hopefully this deep dive helps. You need to weigh those pros: portability, connectivity, decent screen against the cons, the speakers, the stand stability, brightness limits.
Think about how you'd use it most. Is it mainly for spreadsheets in hotel rooms? Or is it for watching movies on the train? Maybe gaming with your Switch. Your priorities will determine if the Cocopar is the right fit.
Exactly. Does it align with your specific needs?
And that brings us to a final thought for you to ponder.
Hmm.
We've looked at making your display setup more flexible and portable. What other parts of your tech life could benefit from that kind of adaptability?
Hmm.
If you made other tools more mobile, more flexible, what new ways of working, creating, or even just playing might that unlock for you? Something to think about.